The real estate market correction has begun, yet nothing's actually happening. Welcome back. My name is Alexbeltran. I talk about real estate. Let's get started. So we're at this weird stalemate. Inventory is going up, interest rates are going up, new construction going down, home prices slightly going down, and buyers are few and far between. I mean, obviously real estate is hyper-localized, but that seems to be the overall consensus because that's what the National Association of Realtors is reporting. I think that this is what you call the calm before the storm, because really there are three different options here. Option one, prices skyrocket, sellers are happy. Option two, prices dip, but interest rates go way up, so I guess no one's really happy, although buyers have a little bit more of a pricing advantage if this happens. Option three, we stay at this stalemate, or as Wall Streeters like to call it, trade sideways. Get a real job. I hate doing predictions. What do I look like, that freak from the Wizard of Oz? In fact, no one should ever make predictions, he said sarcastically. We all know that we have to look at all possibilities, plan accordingly, and make real-time decisions. However, this brings us to some major prediction offenders, like these Dave Ramsey types that are saying nothing's gonna happen to the real estate market. It's gonna be great! I will link Dave Ramsey's video in the description down below. He does a really good job at putting people to sleep. I mean, this video is over an hour long. I actually sat through it. He has a lot of great information, a lot of great points. It's just boring. On the other side of that coin, you have Patrick Bet-David, who thinks that the real estate Mageddon is gonna happen. I'll go ahead and link his video in the description down below as well. The funny thing about this is that they're both actually right if the scenario that they're planning for comes to fruition. I mean, no one ever thought that this unspecified virus of unknown origin would stop the entire world. And when it did, no one thought that home prices would skyrocket. It pretty much caught us all by surprise. I don't even think the most degenerate gambler in Las Vegas would have made that bet. If you need to buy a house, then buy it. I mean, at the end of the day, you know your situation. Now that's the real estate agent in me talking. However, the real estate investor in me is saying there's gonna be great purchasing opportunities within the next couple months to couple of years, when the excess money that people had sort of runs its course and they go back to their normal spending habits. Suddenly that huge house that needs a ton of maintenance isn't gonna be so much fun to own. And they're gonna have to force sale their property to collect that artificial equity. Now that's probably not the right terminology, but you know what I mean. Those people that are spending $10,000 a month, even though they can only produce $4,500 a month, now that they actually have to work for their money, and their crypto and NFTs are barely getting off the launch pad, let alone going to the moon. Yeah, we all know people that are living those lives, like right now. Even if people get raises, is it keeping up with inflation? I'm asking. And that's a thought process that's inside of me thinking, wait, just a little bit. I mean, I've been holding on to this cash. I can wait a little bit longer. And if the stalemate continues, then buy something anyway. There are always good deals to be found. You may just have to look a little bit harder, or look outside of real estate altogether. Now this is pure speculation, but this is what I'm hearing from friends that work in Wall Street, that the Fed is gonna flinch and they're gonna start lowering interest rates because they're gonna prefer to fight the recession rather than the inflation. Like I said, Wall Streeters, get a real job. And also, side note, just so everyone knows, Wall Street is just a huge gambling den full of degenerates. Food for thought. Personally, I think that a version of Patrick Bet-David's scenario is more likely to happen, but I personally think it's more of a market correction than a full-on crash. I mean, at the end of the day, real estate moves about as fast as the iceberg that hit the Titanic. Now, personally, I've been studying loans. Did I mention I have no life? There seems to be several markets that are more likely to crash than others. For example, here in the Midwest, I don't know what they put in the water, but for the most part, people here are very smart with their money. Most of the loans here in the Midwest were obtained with 10% down or higher, which makes them less likely to be underwater in the event of a correction or a crash. On the other hand, you have markets like Los Angeles, Phoenix, Las Vegas, pretty much the majority of Florida, New York, and Austin, where most loans were obtained with 10% down or less. Now, I still have to dive deeper to find out how many of those properties are liabilities versus assets. Give me a little time. But at least at a glance, they seem to be a lot more volatile. What the fuck? So at a minimum, I highly recommend you look into Patrick Bet-David's prediction, because Dave Ramsey is basically saying, do nothing. It's cool. So let me know what you think. Are you in the Dave Ramsey camp that basically requires you to believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy? Or are you in the Patrick Bet-David camp? Go ahead and comment in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Here's the key about these two different camps. Whichever camp you choose, you just hope you're part of the right camp in 2 years. Okay?
And with that said, I will catch you guys next week. Peace.